Hey y'all, it's Mamaw, and I'm just thought I'd jump on here as a Facebook Live because I am really, really pissed. I know a lot of you out there don't think this Epstein file thing is any more than a distraction. And what's the big deal? It's old. Well, the big deal is for years we've been told that these records would be released. Well, then they couldn't release them because there was a hearing, we couldn't release them because of people, and yada, yada, yada. But one of the number one things that the Taco said that he would do is release these Epstein files. And most of Congress was on board with that until last night. And last night, members of Congress who are in the Rules Committee, Republicans, voted no to not even allow a vote to release the Epstein files. So what we got was no releasing of the Epstein files. So what's the big deal? These were children. At the time that they were raped by grown, rich men, they were children. Now, yes, teenagers will fool around with each other, but it's not a situation where you have a child being manipulated and used by grown, powerful, rich men. What's the difference in what Epstein's buddies did, of which Taco proudly bragged that he and Epstein were such good buddies, and what Catholic priests did, or Boy Scout leaders did, or Hollywood movie directors did, or the team doctor for the women's gymnastics team, or hey, Jim Jordan, how about the team doctor there at Ohio State that molested all your wrestlers and you look the other way? I bet you're the one who gives a master class in how to look the other way when someone's children are being molested. So, you've got the Taco who cheated on every wife that he had, and that was okay with you all because you were going to vote for that felon. You were just proudly wearing them shirts. I'm voting for the felon. You were okay with that. You were okay with a man who bragged on national TV if this little woman sitting next to him wasn't his daughter, he'd date her. Ick. You're okay with that. You were okay with that man on national TV bragging about his privilege and he just grabbed women by their pussy just because he wanted to and they'd put up with it. He is of the privilege where he feels he can smack, grope, assault, and rape any woman that he wants to, and it's okay. And so far it has been. It's okay with you Christian bunch. So now we've got the Taco who has to pay over $80 million to a woman it was found that he raped. 26 other women said that he has molested them or raped them in some fashion. Those were all credible, but suppressed. We had him named in the same lawsuit back in the early 20-teens with Jeffrey Epstein's first case. But that case disappeared when Epstein pled and got house arrest. Dropped Donald completely off of there. Epstein got house arrest. And the very prosecutor that gave him that sweet deal when Trump was elected in 2016 was named the Secretary of the Department of Labor. And that's a fact. He was well rewarded. So now we've got Congress covering and hiding for the Taco. They all know he did it. Now I'm beginning to wonder how many of them are part of maybe I'm on that list, because that's awful fishy, except for Jim Jordan, and he's just great at covering up stuff. And if you think Jim Jordan, all of you people who voted for Jim Jordan, if you think, oh, well, maybe he didn't know, a referee for one of the wrestling matches was also molested by the team doctor, and he specifically walked up and told Jim Jordan, and Jim Jordan's answer was, well, you know how Doc is. So it makes me wonder, Jim, how much do you really know how the Doc was? Did you enjoy it? So Jim Jordan's a pro at covering up. Mike Johnson's kind of creepy. He probably has flagellation lash marks on his back from all the times that he and his 17-year-old son have kept each other accountable off of porn sites. Yeah, that's just all kinds of sicko. And then there's Pam Bondi. Blondie Pam Bondi. And I don't know how she looks herself in the mirror in the morning when she's getting ready, because this job cannot be worth it. To know what he did, to know who's on those files, and to still cover for his sorry ass is just beyond comprehension. You're a woman. Women protect children no matter what, except for you and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Ghislaine is sitting in prison for there to not be anything on those files. And I'll guarantee you one of two things is going to happen. Either she's going to get a pardon for her silence and she's going to leave the country, or she's going to end up dead like Epstein, because she knows who's on those records and she knows who she procured those children for. And now you got Blondie Pam Bondi covering up for him just to be Attorney General. Pam, you're the Attorney General of the United States. Your job is to protect children and women from sexual predators. And yet you are covering up for the Taco and these other men who may be involved in Congress. Shame on you. You're disgusting. You're sickening, because women like you that cover up, protect, and promote men like that are even worse. Where do they go to? Who do they go to? If today a woman came to you with all the evidence in the world against the Taco, what would you do? Because I'm guessing you'd cover it up. And that's a sorry excuse as a woman. You'll make more money on the outside. You already know the Saudis will pay you $10 million. Get the hell out of there, because you're sorry. And all of you people in Congress that were on that committee that voted last night to protect the Taco, you're sorry. And we've got your names. You're out of office. Jim Jordan, every constituent you have ought to be ashamed of themselves. So that's what Mamaw's got to say. You've just got your ass ripped on Mamaw's porch. Stay salty and use your outside voice. And if you see anything wrong, you yell it from the rooftop, because wrong is wrong. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.